Welcome. This was a bit of an experimental project for me, as I wanted to see if I could make a stop-motion armature out of plastic just to fiddle around with. BB pellets proved to have the right diameter for the joints I wanted to make, so I drilled a guide hole through a piece of wood and then placed the BB pellets on the back using foam to stop it from rotating while I drilled it. Then I used plastic cement to attach the BB to a length of styrene tube. After that, I could cut it down to the desired length. I built the joint cuff out of 1.5mm styrene. I used a sharp tip file to create some guide holes, and then drilled out recesses into which the ball joint can fit, as well as an additional hole for the bolt. I then cleaned everything out with a larger drill bit to get rid of any burrs. Then I could assemble the cuff. I also created a recess that would house the nut. In order to prevent that from spinning, I softened the styrene with plastic cement and then tapped that in with a hammer to keep it in place. Then I could put the bolt through, which would create the tension I needed to hold the ball joint in place. Then I trimmed all the bolts down to size. After that, I drilled a hole through the back of the cuff and glued the limb into it. The fingers were created using thin, hollow styrene tube, which I could place over a metal wire to allow them to bend. In hindsight, I probably should have used a thinner wire, as these were a bit awkward to bend. And in order to house these in the palm, I created insets into which the wires can sit. And then I sandwiched the fingers into the palm. In order to allow adequate movement for the thumb, I created a pin which would allow it to rotate on the hand. I wanted interchangeable expressions for the face, so I built in a magnet system which will allow me to quickly take out and replace faces. I created a box which would slide over the neck joint and allow the head to have movement. Then for the head itself, I did pillars running around the exterior, which I could sand down into shape, which would allow me to wrap a strip of styrene around it to form the sides. I first heated the styrene in boiling water to make it more malleable, and then I could do the wrapping. Then I cut off the excess pieces on the side and sanded everything down to get a smooth finish. And once I had all the parts, I could finally assemble, well, what I've come to call my Workbench Buddy. And now at least when I speak to myself, I don't feel quite as crazy, because I have him to speak to. I drew up some vector faces in Adobe Illustrator, and then I cut those out, which I could mount onto a cardboard back. Then after noting all the expressions on the back, just for a quick reference, I could tack on the magnet to keep it in place. In order to swap out the faces, I used a stronger magnet to pull out the face, and then I could replace it with another. And that was that. You ready for your debut, buddy? No? Oh, I see. Yep. Stretching is important, hey, even if you don't have muscles. Ready now, though? Then take it away. Yeah, well, that was something, but yeah, maybe just try a little bit more gusto. Or maybe just a little bit less. Yeah, now you got it.